but Usain is a global icon, a national hero.
No, serious. We were just talking and then to come and see.
If you want me to deliver a message for you, let me know in India. So.
Listen. But that India trip was,
Yeah, it was a real one.
it was really, really good. And you made it.
You got to be on the next one.
You know, can you imagine? You go India, 2 billion people, and I go and I say, Chris Gayle, and the Prime Minister, yes, he's big in India.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Bless.
Come this side.
Yeah, man.
A national asset, and every Jamaican is grieving with Usain and his family at this time. So I thought that as Prime Minister, I have
thanks for the money for the prizes and the love, the well wishes and everything. Happy to see a big turnout and so on. Ministers are coming and supporting. I feel the love and I really appreciate it. I just want to say thanks to the world. My money also. Thank you very much. Just love him and the tough times and the isolated problems and the demons and all and something like that. I'm very happy to tell me all about how to change everything about my childhood. Because my parents did an excellent job raising him, and I'm really happy about that. My father was tough on me, always, but for me I always know that he just wants this. I want to grow up and to be a good person, a good man. Just want to know something there. Still I fight the fight, still I hold on. Odds I can stay strong. You know the country used to do it. To all the people who that support me, continue support. No, nothing but love, alright?
In a heartbreaking moment that sent shockwaves through Jamaica and the global sports world, sprinting icon Usain Bolt has laid to rest the man who shaped him long before the world knew his name, his father, Wellesley Bolt. While Usain's Olympic medals and world records have dominated headlines for over a decade, it's the quieter, powerful presence of Wellesley who helped carve that path. As the world mourns with Bolt, one question echoes through the grief. Who was the man behind the fastest human on Earth? Today we go beyond the spotlight and into the emotional tribute paid to the father who never once chased fame, but instead built a legacy through discipline, humility, and sacrifice. The story of Wellesley Bolt isn't just a funeral. It's a reminder that behind every legend stands a pillar, and that pillar has now fallen. Long before Usain Bolt was a household name, Wellesley Bolt was quietly building a legacy in the lush hills of Sherwood-Contant, Trelawney. A devoted family man, he wasn't just a father.
More mature, as you grow older, you get more mature, but he's the same jovial person.
He was a compass, a voice of reason, and the rock of the Bolt household. He worked tirelessly at the coffee board and later ran the family shop, not for recognition, but to provide stability and teach his children the value of hard work. Friends and neighbors recall a man who moved with purpose but never sought applause. It was in that very home where young Usain would learn discipline, humility, and respect, lessons that would echo around the globe as he broke record after record. In every stride Usain took on the track, Wellesley's influence followed. He wasn't just raising a son, he was shaping a force of nature. Wellesley. Bolt wasn't just Usain's father, he was his first coach in life. While many parents dream of their child's athletic success, Wellesley made sure the foundation was deeper than medals. When a young Usain showed promise in cricket, it was Wellesley who gently nudged him towards sprinting, recognizing not just talent but potential for greatness. But it wasn't about fame. It was about focus, discipline, and making the most of God-given gifts. Wellesley was firm but fair, a man who didn't hand out praise lightly, but when he did, it meant everything. Usain has said many times that it was his father's silent strength that kept him grounded, even as the world cheered. And now, in his passing, that strength is being remembered by the very man it helped elevate to immortality. Wellesley didn't just guide a runner, he cultivated a world changer. The sun shone down on Falmouth Seventh-day Adventist Church as hundreds gathered to pay their final respects to Wellesley Bolt. But the air was heavy with sorrow and reverence. The atmosphere was a blend of mourning and celebration, of a life that meant more than most ever realized. The Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, was in attendance alongside public figures like Olivia, Babsy Grange, and cricket legend Chris Gayle, underscoring the depth of Wellesley's impact across generations. Inside the church, emotions ran high as tributes poured in, not only from family but from a community that felt like they had lost a father too. The service wasn't just a goodbye, it was a recognition that Wellesley's quiet dignity had left a permanent mark, not only on Usain, but on an entire nation. His influence reached far beyond track lanes and medals. It touched hearts.
Sports and track and field to be the best that I possibly can. And that's one of my biggest lessons that I learned from her, to work hard and to be dedicated. And he not just only told me, I watched him work hard and provide for my family, and provide for us. And just, there's nights that I didn't even see my dad when he was working for the coffee industry. He would be up early and he would be being late.
When Usain Bolt stepped up to speak, the crowd held its breath. This wasn't the boastful champion we've seen strike the lightning pose. It was a grieving son standing in the shadow of his greatest hero. Through choked-back tears and raw emotion, Usain spoke of a man who never sought the spotlight, but whose every act illuminated those around him. All he did was give, no matter what, Usain said, his voice shaking. He spoke of his father's stern love, his quiet wisdom, and the sacrifices that went unseen while the cameras focused on gold medals and world records. For the first time, fans got to see the man behind Usain's drive, discipline, and depth. This wasn't just a tribute, it was a revelation. And in that moment, the fastest man alive seemed vulnerable, human, and deeply connected to the roots that shaped him. Wellesley Bolt's legacy goes far beyond parenting a sprinting superstar. In Sherwood content, he was a cornerstone of the community, known for his fairness, his calm demeanor, and his unwavering support of others. Residents describe him as a man who always had time to listen, who offered guidance without judgment, and whose humility made him beloved by all. His influence wasn't flashy, but it was foundational. From helping a neighbor repair a fence to mentoring young men in the village, Wellesley didn't just raise a legend, he helped shape a generation. Even in death, his values live on through Usain's philanthropic work and the way Bolt carries himself on and off the world stage. His impact was quiet, but colossal. And as Jamaica continues to grieve, one thing is clear. Wellesley Bolt may have been a humble man, but his legacy is anything but small. As the final words were spoken and the casket was lowered, there was an unspoken understanding among those present. Something sacred had passed. But in truth, Wellesley Bolt's spirit will never be buried. It lives in every stride Usain takes, in every youth inspired by the Bolt name, and in every parent who quietly works behind the scenes to build a better future for their children. His death marks the end of a chapter, but the lessons he imparted will continue writing new stories for generations to come. And as Usain continues to honor his father through his own journey, we're reminded that true greatness often begins at home, with quiet strength, unshakable principles, and the kind of love that never needs a spotlight to shine. Wellesley Bolt's life may have ended, but his legacy now sprints forward forever.